Dobro Jutro, Divine Pisces 222. It is Monday, December 30th, 2019. Only 2 days left. Yay! Do an energy check-in for the Twin Flames today. See what we've got going on here. See if we can... I'm hoping that these heavy shifting energies clear out really soon, because I'm not a fan. yeah, okay, so there's still a lot of longing in the connections right now, a lot of feeling lost for some reason, alone, lonely. I'm picking this up mostly, honestly, on the masculine end here, although it is coming in a little bit for Divine Feminine too. It's being reflected, of course, it's mirrored, right? So I feel a very heavy purging energy coming in. You know, with this card, of course, it's mostly water, right? So I feel a very heavy purging energy coming in, like a very strong need to belong somewhere. Like, I kind of talked about this yesterday, where there's this really strong, like, feeling of not belonging, which, you know, can kind of translate into loneliness, really, not really fitting in anywhere, no one really understands you, and I feel like it's a lot of inner child stuff is coming up about that, a lot of insecurities with that, but I do feel, you know, a lot of illumination coming in. I feel a lot of twins are getting more and more and more downloads here, and it's just triggering more and more and more. Seriously, it's just like all of this karma just like rushing in right at the end of the year to be cleared, before the new year begins. So it's like you're being forced to face your shadow self in order to ascend in what it's called, this card's called the Age of Light. So it's like 2020 is like an enlightening year or something like that. But I really just feel like it's like this push to release all the darkness before the new year begins. Okay. Yeah, some of you are setting boundaries right now. So it says no. So if you had a question, yes or no question, here's your answer. But I do feel that a lot of twins are just setting boundaries right now, especially Divine Feminine. Yeah. I feel like Divine Feminine's been in this energy for a while. She's just been kind of done. And I feel like that within itself is bringing up its own set of insecurities here. It's almost like a defensive or a defense mechanism, really, where Divine Feminine is setting boundaries proactively for a lot of things in general. And I feel like even setting boundaries with herself, trying to end cycles within herself. And I do feel Divine Masculine is actually trying to do the same. It's just, I just feel this resistance, but it's not really out of denial at this point. It's almost more out of, it's fear. It's fear. Big time fear. And so these inner child wounds that are coming up, I mean, basically it's here to show you how to reparent yourself, right? Because, I mean, okay, if you think about it this way, like our parents, our guardians, our people who took care of us, you know, they had their own inner child issues. They had their own karma they were dealing with. They had their own insecurities they were dealing with. And what happens is you pass that along to your children, usually. You know, when you don't resolve those things, you pass those on to your children, for example. You know, growing up, you know, my mother was very, very on me about my weight all the time. Because when she was younger, she was bigger, and so she didn't want that for me. She didn't want me to have to go through that. And I went through my own set of issues, you know. But, you know, it kind of, honestly, at some point gave me a bit of a complex about my body. Like, I had, you know, a lot of insecurities about that until I was much, much older. You know, now it's not an issue. I don't really, you know, it's whatever. But when I was younger, it was a big deal for me, you know. So, and I'm not necessarily blaming my mother, no. But she had her own set of insecurities that she passed along. So, like, you know, looking at your parents and looking at your culture and looking at, you know, the things and the way you were brought up, you know, your family, your guardians, or whoever took care of you really did shape your future in a way. Okay, so when you look at your inner child issues, you know, the main thing is forgiveness, forgiving yourself for any transgressions that you feel you made, that, you know, for any reason you felt was your fault. You forgive yourself, and then you forgive those, you know, who, you know, if you felt like maybe you were victimized, someone was unfair to you, or, you know, whatever, you forgive them, right? So, and with that, when you're able to do that, when you're able to come into full forgiveness, like true, actual forgiveness without expectations, that's when you basically create a new beginning for yourself. You create a new future, a new destiny, because you're releasing the old cycles, you're releasing the old patterns, you're releasing the negativity, the guilt that's associated with, you know, a lot of these patterns, insecurities, things like that. You know, it doesn't bother you anymore. And so you can release it because you don't need it. It's not something you need in your life. And then you can create new patterns that are not toxic within yourself, right? All right, so let's take a look at Divine Masculine right now. Ooh. Interesting. Okay, so a lot of Divine Masculines right now are very much in their emotions and they don't know how to deal with it. Fear. There's a lot of fear surrounding emotions here. Most of my masculines don't know how to deal with emotions. They hide them, they suppress them. You know, emotion, pretty much any emotion that comes out, it's shown as anger. You know, when they're sad, it's anger. When they're frustrated, it's anger. When they're scared, it's anger. Right? So a lot of Divine Masculines are very much in their emotions, in their fifis right now. They don't know how to deal with it. They're hiding their feelings, which in itself, of course, is not healthy. Again, a lot of them have some insecurities when it comes to these sorts of emotions and things that are coming up. They don't want to feel vulnerable. They don't want to feel weak. And it scares them. So it's like not only are they feeling the emotion, but they're feeling the fear because of the emotion. It scares them, you know. They'd rather cling to the material. They'd rather cling to the financial than to deal with some of these emotions that are coming up specifically because of the connections themselves. Because, I mean, the twins are constantly triggering each other. And then there's also, you know, the shadow aspects that are coming up right now that are absolutely terrifying. Let's be honest. Trust me, I've faced my shadow stuff and it's scary. I still have, you know, some stuff I need to face, so I'm definitely not fully cooked, guys. But Divine Masculine, yeah, Divine Masculine would rather cling to the material than deal with himself. Oh, ain't that the truth? So, I mean, you know, but at the same time, it's like they know they're not happy. They know they can't. It's like they want to move forward. They want to make a decision, but they don't really know how to do that. It's like they want to, but they don't want to. It's like this constant inner struggle about this choice that they need to make for their own happiness and reality. But a lot of them are just in their heads about the connection right now, and that's what's bringing up these emotions and these insecurities and this fear of losing the things that are around them right now, because it's all they know. It's their comfort zone. It's their safe space. They're afraid to release that, right? But the universe is trying to show them that they need to. Sorry guys, baby woke up temporarily. So anyway, not for the connection itself, but for themselves, so they can fulfill themselves. They can fill their own cup, and they can walk the path that they're supposed to be walking. Because right now, a lot of this stuff seems so foreign. It seems so distant and far away and unreachable. You know, so they'd rather stay in their safe space right now, but they know there's a decision that needs to be made. And a lot of them are being pushed for that, towards that decision, you know. Some of them rather be players. You know, and they'd rather not be serious, rather not deal with their crap. You know, just put on this happy face and continue on the way that they've been doing, and they know that they can't do that anymore. So again, a lot of them are just really confused, really unsure, uncertain. And they do feel like no matter what they do, it's going to be the wrong thing. So they do feel conflicted. There's a lot of inner conflict happening right now. A lot of ego death. And so a lot of them are just in their heads, dealing with their crap. And I feel like, you know, possibly very quiet right now. Okay, so if you're not in communication, that's why. Alright. Let's take a look at Divine Feminine. Sorry, I'm trying to be quiet because my daughter's actually taking a nap, as she's supposed to be anyway. Alright, so Divine Feminine, yeah. So I definitely feel some Divine Feminines are in their heads right now, about their path. Again, a lot of darkness surrounding Divine Feminine too. I feel like recently maybe some aha moments, maybe something has come to light with Divine Feminine. Cutting through the crap, really, cutting through the bull crap. And seeing things for what they are. But at the same time, you know, it's triggered her. So I do feel a lot of Divine Feminine is very triggered right now. There's definitely insecurities coming out for Divine Feminine too. It's not just Divine Masculine, okay? I'm feeling definitely a lot of changes happening in general in the connections, but specifically with Divine Feminine. I mean, we've all been talking about the shifts, Divine Feminine and switching into her masculine energy, vice versa. And I feel like Divine Feminine is recognizing the change within herself and embracing it, and is basically ready to kind of take it on. Like, she's kind of sitting here, she's got the wand here, ready to take on the Six of Wands that's coming at her. Which is interesting too, right? Understanding that, of course, Spirit is by her side, her spirit guides are by her side, you know, and trying to find that inner balance, trying to find that inner peace. And I definitely feel this coming. For both twins, actually. Believe it or not. Divine Masculine is closer to this than he thinks he is. There's just always, like, right before you hit that point, that inner peace point, that balance point, there's always something massive that happens. There's always a massive tower, there's a massive trigger, right? Something that brings on a massive urge, you know, because you have to release it. You can't hold on to it, right? And so that's definitely coming for Divine Feminine too. So I know that a lot of you had mentioned yesterday that you've hit purges. Yeah, definitely. I had one night before last, and it just kind of came out of nowhere, as they usually do. It's just like, all right, whatever. Guess I got to deal with this now. But what it's doing again is bringing about more and more truth, more and more understanding of herself and her path and what she needs to do moving forward, okay? So a lot of Divine Feminines right now setting those boundaries, stepping away from the connections. I see it across the board right now. Divine Feminine just doesn't want to deal with it, you know? She'd rather deal with herself right now. And so what's happening with that is it's pushing Divine Masculine to deal with his crap, okay? Because it's mirrored, all right? Divine Feminine's like, all right, you know, I'm done with this player mentality. You know, you want to remain stuck, that's fine. I'm moving forward, right? I'm moving forward in my truth. I'm moving forward in my purpose. You know, you do whatever you need to do. I'm done. right? So a lot of divine feminines are just like, all right, whatever. All right, let's get some messages. Yeah. Doesn't work though. Alright, let's get some messages and advice from Source. Ooh. Yeah. Oh boy. Yeah, let's just say sexual energy has been ridiculous. I'm getting to the point where I'm gonna cut that shit off. Yeah, okay, so yeah, there's a lot of darkness kind of surrounding the twins right now. And if you're feeling anger, if you're feeling frustration, you know, really need to go within and figure out why you're feeling that. Especially if it's towards your twin. If you're feeling anger towards your twin, your twin is probably angry with themselves. Okay, think about it that way. All right. I am you, you are me, that sort of thing. All right. I mean, I don't think I've personally ever been angry with my twin. I have been angry with myself, which makes me think maybe he's been angry with me, but I'm not really quite sure, honestly. But a lot of twins are seeing the light right now, so the darkness is being illuminated. All right, so Divine Feminine, keep that beacon lit. Okay, don't slip into the negativity. Okay, because that dims the light. Divine Masculine can't find you. Okay, so keep that light bright. Keep your vibration up. A lot of sexual energy, definitely going back and forth right now, okay? Use it to manifest, okay? It's a very strong energy. It's very strong and powerful energy. Use it to manifest, okay? Think about it this way. Divine Masculine is helping Divine Feminine manifest the things that she wants by sending that energy, okay? So take it, use it, manifest, all right? Definitely feel some throat chakra issues, obviously. So maybe clear out the throat chakra. Oh, see how that happened? Clear out the throat chakra, because I definitely feel truth needs to be said. There's a lot of truth that needs to be said. There's been a lot of deception in these connections, a lot of illusion in these connections, a lot of denial, you know, that sort of thing. But definitely going through transformations. And I said this yesterday, it's kind of like an ascension, but it's really more of a transition, right? And that's definitely happening right now with both twins, okay? So just release it, let it happen, let it go, let it flow, okay? Because you are being guided. Okay, and always, you know, trust your own inner guidance. Trust your own intuition, okay? Before taking someone else's advice. You know, you can listen to somebody, okay, and meditate on it and ask your spirit team if that's the right thing to do. I'm not saying you shouldn't take someone's advice. But you should always consult your own advice before you actually act on that other person's advice. Does that make sense? All right, guys. I really hope you have a great rest of your day, and I will talk to you later. Bye-bye.